No big deal, just doing some mussel harvesting here.
Oh yeah!
Oh, I didn't expect it to be this nipply. How far is good? What Nicole and I have tried to pride ourselves on recently is being able to sustain ourselves with our homestead. You've seen our garden, you've seen us forage things around the property, and recently we discovered that we have freshwater mussels. And who I've been really inspired by is our friends Chris and Steph from Lovin' Off the Land out in BC. Now, they don't have as brutal a winter as we do, but they've been able to catch crabs and fish and a ton of other stuff, and they have been eating off what they can grow for the last, actually, I think they're now doing a year and a half. So for 1 year, they did Challenge 365 to only eat what they can grow and what they can produce on their property. Fortunately, I was able to have a conversation with Chris and Steph a little while ago, but what I'm gonna do is see if I can't harvest some mussels and see maybe if they're edible. So let's find some mussels. Over the last year, as we've been discovering more about the property and trying to forage more what we can on our property, I've been looking into what you can and cannot eat, and mussels has turned out to be one of those things. Now, from what I'm reading online, there are about 25 different species of mussels, some freshwater, some saltwater, and apparently most freshwater mussels are pretty nasty. They're like trash mussels. So I don't know if these will be any good. I don't even know if they'll be safe to eat, but from what I'm finding out, even mushrooms and things, it's rare that things will kill you. It'll just make you throw up, which still equally sucks, but you know, I'd like to try it because if we can have fresh mussels from here, harvested in our beautiful river, that's a winner. Also, I have these shoes. I bought them years ago to go running. I don't go running in them, but they're great for getting in the water so you don't cut your feet on different things. Little toesy shoes. I really just wanted to reach out because I think what you guys are doing is really cool, and it's something that Nicole and I are striving to get to, like to have that where we can grow and catch and everything. That we have a little fishing competition going on right now, and to be able to get everything on our own property, even though we don't have a very large property, but to be able to grow and sort of have that food security. What was sort of the impetus, or was there one or sort of many things that made you want to start the 365 challenge?
Yeah, I think the main thing for us was COVID was a big reality check for us. And I think, you know, we didn't grow up rich, but Steph and I both grew up in, you know, privileged enough upbringings, middle-class families, that we never really had to think about where our food was coming for. And you walk into the grocery store and there's a nice little piece of chicken and you pick that up and that's where your food comes from. So when grocery stores started running out of things and we got laid off from work, we worked in hospitality. It was a bit of a wake up and a no shit moment of like, you know, what if this got worse? What if something else happens? Like, we are really not prepared to provide ourselves with the most basic needs to survive, which is food. So yeah, it was a wake up call for us, and we've been chatting about it for a little bit and decided we would see if we would be able to survive, and challenged ourselves to only see if we could catch, grow, harvest, or raise everything we needed to eat for an entire year.
Yeah, I think Chris was a little more gung-ho than I was. It took a little bit of convincing on my part, and I thought he was like playing a joke on me or something like that for the first little bit, and then I was like, oh no, he's serious and passionate about this. And yeah, I was up for the challenge for sure.
Now, you mentioned food shortages and stuff. Is it something that you're seeing food shortages where you are, or is it more I think what we're seeing is the price hikes? Like, there's still food on the shelves, but the prices of things, like I had in my last video, the price of watermelon was like $13 the other day. And I was just watching a TikTok that like chicken was $40. And I'm like, I just sold a bird for 10. Like, you could cut its head off and then you could eat that. Like, is that something you guys are seeing too?
I think it was to start the pandemic, it was definitely like shortages and limits on items that we could take. But then coming out of the pandemic, where we are now, and like when we did go back to the grocery store, it was like that incredible price hike on everything. And yeah, I think what was it? That was ridiculous.
We just hadn't been going every week, so it's not like we saw like little kind of increments every week or every month. Like we didn't go to a grocery store and buy food for an entire year. So we went back in and gas prices soared and, you know, raising all the prices of food. But I think the price of eggs was one thing we were like, holy crap.
Yeah, I think that. And then also like bacon. So before we went into this challenge, it was probably something like $7. And then coming out, it was like 14. And we were like, holy crap, like that doubled in a year. And like, especially being on this small island where it costs a little bit more to get things here. And there's only one grocery store, so they can kind of adjust the prices however they want. And there's not really any competition. So it was like so eye-opening to see that and then to keep seeing it. And
so we took a little break and we said, forget this, we're going back to year 2.
I don't know if you can see that. He just slurped his tongue in. Is this another one right here? Or is that a rock? Oh, that's a rock. I'm using this old laundry bin here to collect them in so that they don't die while I harvest them. Be as gentle as possible, not to disturb the silt on the bottom of the water. Oh, there's a friggin'... The key, as I see it so far, is to be as gentle-footed as possible as you walk along so you don't stir up the silt on the bottom, because then it gets cloudy and you can't see anything. For the most part, you can kind of see from up above what you're looking at, but I think I've got the ones close to shore now, so I'm gonna go a little deeper. Here we go. Oh, it's foggy. I can't see. I gotta clean them out. You can't tell. I don't know the last time I've ever been snorkeling. So I'm kind of... What? My butt was just... You should get the other one and use that to film my butt. This one? Oh, that's a dead one. Something already got that. Probably an otter. Where else? Do you guys have like little cheat meals that you do, or do you have any cheats at all during your challenge?
The first year, no.
Yeah, we were strict,
and we were dedicated and very like strong-headed, which I think on the small island, like you can't really get away with cheat meals. Like someone's gonna find out, someone will see you. It'll come up and like.
And it's not like we have McDonald's on the island, like nothing's open past 8. So it's not like you get those late night cravings. You're like, I'm gonna go to 7-Eleven. Like everything's closed. Yeah. You can get it if you want. But
you'd be going to a grocery store and cooking your own meal anyway. So it wasn't as tempting like where we are. This second year, I think we're doing a couple of cheat meals just because things are getting back to normal. COVID's kind of done. People are gathering and doing their weddings that have been postponed. So we had a lot of friends that were doing their weddings this year, and we wanted to be part of that. And our birthdays were really hard, I think, in that last year of like not being able to celebrate it in the ways that we were used to. And someone's got a big birthday coming up this year. So
4-0, so I'm like, I'm celebrating that one.
Yeah.
So there was no like dramatic survivor moments that you were like trying to catch crab or fish that you're like, oh my God, I can't. I just, I can't go on.
There were lots of those moments. I mean, I think we probably made it more dramatic than they were when you're doing that. It's not like we were going to die. We're like, ah.
Yeah, definitely. I think there wasn't any like point of like being so stuck or something. I think we were pretty good at like figuring things out. There was moments of like our greenhouse blew over and that kind of messed up a bunch of vegetables, or
yeah, the windstorms.
like windstorms were hard, or just like
there were plenty of obstacles, but nothing that was
nothing
like,
detrimental, which we're very lucky for.
Something you need to be mindful of is how many you're taking. You don't want to take the entire population because then you wipe them out. Now, I'm not entirely sure if these are an invasive type of species mussel thing, but you just want to be careful how many you're taking, the size of them you're taking. If they're too small, put it back. Same with when you're hunting. You don't want to shoot something that's going to reproduce or hasn't grown up yet. You wait a few years. It just makes more sense that way, so that they can grow up, get older, produce more fruit, food, whatever, so that we can hunt them later. I enjoy mussel hunting. Mussel hunting is fun. I really hope I can eat these. Can you figure out a mussel call? How do you call a mussel? Yeah, mussel, 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 mussel. Yeah, mussel, 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 mussel. Yeah, boy.
I think we like realized that we can do it, so that kind of like took a bit of a stressor off, that like, okay, if the world goes to shit, we could potentially survive on our own, but now it's just like making it us wanting to do that and like having those things where like those luxuries.
Although from the sounds of it, we'd have 50 families and friends showing up at our doorstep if that shit ever hit the fan.
Yeah.
Pivot to do a little more, but yeah.
I think that's where the community really comes in, and like you said, growing wheat and things like that makes it really difficult to, you really have to tend that crop, or even rice, like things that you grow that take up a lot of space, corn, potatoes. You can grow a lot of them, but it's really hard to sustainably use that as a crop when you're trying to, like, okay, we need our meat, we need our veggies, we need our starches and everything. So when you have a community of people sort of backing you and like, okay, I will take care of the wheat, don't worry about that, and then that way you can do one person does the animal feed and the one person takes care of the animals.
And I think that's the end goal, is that kind of community too, and looking more into that. And you know, we keep our pigs on a friend's farm because we're only on half an acre here, and our bylaws don't allow hooved animals where we are, so we'll keep our neighbors happy and have our pigs somewhere else, and we kind of trade them off with some stuff. So yeah, I think you're exactly right, just having that community and all kind of working together in a more self-sufficient manner, so all of our food comes from the island, as opposed to having to be shipped in.
I can't remember the last time I was this relaxed. Homesteading and just farming in general has a tendency to take it all out of you. Mentally, physically, emotionally. We often get so drained so easily. It's nice to be able to take some time to relax and just focus on foraging. Maybe this fall I'll be able to hunt and it'll have the same effect. Store-bought mussels. These here are store-bought mussels you can get from the store. These are typically what you'd buy. They're usually saltwater mussels, those are, and these are the ones, or this is one of the ones that I harvested yesterday, and I'm told that these guys are just not good to eat. They can A, make you sick, B, just taste disgusting. And that's an important thing about foraging, is you got to be careful what you're eating and what you're getting into, because you don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to make yourself sick, be it mushrooms or wild plants or wild food like this. You want to be careful. So if you can buy it from the store and you know that it's safe, you can probably harvest it on your property. But before you just eat something willy-nilly out of the water, out of the ground, make sure you know what it is and whether it's safe to eat. Saltwater mussels are going to end up being better for you. The salinity in the water is going to keep them clean-ish, free of bacteria, so you're better off using some saltwater you're better off eating saltwater mussels than freshwater mussels, because after all, they're a bivalve and all they're doing is filtering water. So you end up eating everything that they ate, and usually it's just garbage and parasites, and you don't want that. When I started this video, I had full intentions of actually eating those and trying them out, but again, from what I've read online, it seems dangerous. So I'm gonna stick with my store-bought mussels, unless I can go to the ocean and find some saltwater mussels that I can pick myself. But yeah, I like being able to harvest, and I mean, the otters love those mussels, so I think I'll leave those mussels to the otters and I'll eat these ones.
I got a voice in the back of my